Welcome to the thrift store One Dad, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget, and welcome to that time of year when the leaves start changing and ascending, when the aroma of pumpkin spice incessantly fills the air, and people start dressing up in more ways than one, and we still can't do jack diddly squat about it because we're still stuck at home indoors, by order of local, state, and federal health officials and authorities. But don't worry, be happy, because I got some backup with me to help end this end of summertime blues. So let's all take a trip to meet the wonderful wizard named Oz. Daphne Oz, specifically, the Emmy-winning co-host of the late, great 2 on ABC, is back for a second time at bat on TSR with The Happy Cook. 125 recipes for eating every day like it's the weekend. This is the 2016 follow-up. Yes, it was released 4 years ago this month, to Relish, an adventure in food, style, and everyday fun, which I reviewed to kick off the 2020 season of TSR. She set out to make that book the premier league of life improvement books by tackling anything life throws at you and then some. A noble cause, but wasn't performed dutifully. You'll want to check out that review to find out. This is a more simple, straightforward cookbook with recipes that aren't so simple sounding. Regardless, it was purchased for 50% off the price of $7.99, and like Relish, it was published by William Morrow Publishers. Let me give you a little bit about my cookbook review process. Oftentimes, it's seasonal. A cookbook will have menus with recipes that particularly fit well into any sort of scenario. Hence why they're in the menus. Mostly they're around holidays. For example, if a cookbook I review has a Christmas-themed menu with recipes that really do fit the Christmas bill, I will do a recipe review on that. Do it again. Let me give you a little bit into my cookbook review process. Sometimes it can be seasonal. If a cookbook has some certain themed menus at the end of it with recipes that particularly fit well into that menu for any given scenario, I will review it based around that scenario, mainly around holidays. For example, if it's Christmas time and a cookbook I review has a Christmas-themed menu with recipes in that menu, I will highlight those recipes. Same case here. This is the first day of fall, so I'm going to highlight recipes from the fall dinner party menu at the end of this book. I'll show you all the menus towards the end, but that is going to be the focal point of this review. There are 5 recipes to highlight here, 3 from the menu and 2 honorable mentions, one of my own personal recommendations and one from Goop, the Gwyneth Paltrow owned and operated lifestyle brand, which really you should stay away from if you are budget conscious. I mean, I reviewed one of her cookbooks before, I wasn't impressed. And that's a shame. Anyway, let's see how Daphne does the second time around. Roasted plums with tahini dressing. This is the fall dinner party, 1 of 3. This is part of that trifecta right here. This recipe was actually concocted on the spot by Frances Boswell, food whisperer extraordinaire, and the delicate hands that made every recipe in this book look so lush and photo-ready. We had extra plums left over from the kale salad, so she threw them on a baking sheet in the oven and forgot about them, until the wafting smell of roasting fruit caught all of our attention. The savory quality of the herbs, sweet, sour plums, plus this incredibly creamy tahini and lemon dressing, not pictured here, is unthinkably tasty. Plus, it's a great way to use up fruit that is just about to tan. So, ingredient list, instructions, and same goes for the tahini dressing. That yields 2 cups, and this makes 4 servings. Why not photograph the tahini dressing? It's quite a looker too. This is my personal recommendation, not from the menu. Honey lime chicken wings. Great for game day. If game day was yesterday. Because yesterday was Monday Night Football, and coincidentally I'm filming this on the night as it is airing right now, Monday Night Football. I adore chicken wings. There's nothing like the taste of homemade wings, and I don't know about you, but I actually love, as long as the meat gets cooked right, flabby skin on my wings. I don't mind crispy skin, but I love flabby skin on my wings. It just makes the whole wing more succulent, more slumpable, in my opinion. If you're in this section of the book, you're not a vegetarian, and if you're not a vegetarian, you probably love chicken wings. I'm the furthest thing from a vegetarian, okay? But I do have a couple of vegetarian cookbooks that I reviewed, and there will be another one coming up next. Stay tuned for that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but let's just say it's something that you might have already seen before. These wings have the perfect ratio of meat to delicious sticky sauce and crispy skin perfection. They're so much fun to eat. This, by the way, as Daphne would argue, would make great date night food. Because when you eat something with your hands, well, it's that much more enticing to your loved one or potential loved one. That much more arousing to gnaw on something with your delicate fingers. The fingers which crafted this masterwork, which will yield 4 to 8 servings. Chicken wings as a date night food? Well, if you do that and go down that route, all the more power to you. This is Goop's honorable mention, the hoisin glazed pork and turkey meatloaf, which yields 8 servings. If you're going to have a fall dinner party, the rules remain the same. Keep everybody in separate rooms and make sure they have their mask on until you call everybody down to eat. If you're seating people at one table, make sure there's a lot of room on the table so that people can stay a considerable number of feet apart from each other. And then when they take their mask off and chow down, please don't be messy about it. That is a tasty looking meatloaf right there. It's presented in a pan and sliced up with some greens to go alongside it and a nice drink. So, a classic American family staple. Give it a Daphne Oz treatment. Once again, that's Scoop's honorable mention. Truffle salt roast chicken with lentils and squash. Another dinner time staple for families given the upscale Daphne Oz treatment. This makes 4 servings. Truffle salt. You might think that's so crazy expensive, but a jar of the stuff delivers $500 worth of truffle flavor for the price of a couple of fancy lattes. And it's one of the things that makes this dish so special. This is in the fall dinner party menu, and it yields 4 servings. Next, and last, baked cider donuts, which will yield 12 in total. One of my favorite traditions growing up in New Jersey was our annual trek to go apple picking at Oaks Orchard in Warwick, New York, every September. After 50 minutes on the road, winding through forest and sleepy towns, you finally arrive at the orchard. Rows and rows of trees await, bearing crisp, ripe apples, in every possible variety. We beeline straight for the golden delicious and heady crisp, loading a bag after bag of fresh apples that would soon become apple pies and crisp and roast in our all-night-long bake fest. And of course, they would eventually turn into cider, which forms the foundation of these delicious-looking donuts. And that is the dessert. Do plums count as a dessert, by the way? If so, then you got double the dessert here. Sorry about the engine revving. Looks like somebody's on their way right now to a late dinner party. Again, I'm filming this at night during Monday Night Football. Never a good idea unless you're doing a football-themed episode. Menu inspiration. These are all the menus. Everything from a seasonal dinner party, you make the choice, winter, spring, summer, and fall, to a play date, an easy weeknight meal, date night, of course. Daphne Oz, you had me at date night. Bunch for the girls, a picnic, a boss coming over. You name it. There's probably a menu for that. That's why a lot of my cookbook reviews are often seasonal. There will be a penalty attached to this cookbook, however, for failing to acknowledge the true fans. Just a mere mention of the true fans being enticed to get happy in the kitchen thanks to relish and adventure and food style everyday fun, as said in the introduction, does not a consolation make, Daphne. By now, you know the rules. 1 clap penalty for failing to acknowledge the viewers properly in the announcement section. And believe me, I always read the announcement section first before I buy any book, not just the cookbook. Still, 4 out of 5 claps for the happy cook. If you know what happiness is to you, cook along with Daphne. Cook along with this cookbook. That'll make you one happy cook. That's the truth. Thanks for watching, and here's to falling for fall in quarantine. I'll catch you on the flip side.